I present the concept of a worldwide reforestation festival. This festival has the potential to change the entire festival industry and contribute greatly to the fight against climate change. I will first explain why this festival is needed and why it will be a great vehicle for action and help influence large-scale change. Two major problems in the world are deforestation and industrial agriculture. The UN reports deforestation combined with the highly unsustainable practices of industrial agriculture accounts for 45 to 50% of global emissions linked to climate change. This 50% comes from approximately 30 million acres of deforested land a year, which is mostly for increasing agricultural land. Combine that with the use of chemicals on crops, constant long-distance food transport around the world, and you can start to get an idea how it adds up to half of the world's emissions. The UN recommends the solution of the reforestation of degraded lands and transitioning to sustainable agriculture around the world. This transition would be the largest sustained mitigation benefit in the fight against climate change. So the solution is reforestation and transitioning to sustainable agriculture. It is 100% possible to reforest any landscape in any climate in the world. The two pictures on the left are examples proving this fact. Pictured on the right are examples of sustainable agriculture that the world must transition to. I won't go into the details of the examples now, but know and understand that we can reforest any land, and transitioning to sustainable agriculture anywhere is very possible. The problem today is big businesses rely heavily on industrial practices, and the solutions are not widely known or utilized throughout the world. So, where do I see an opportunity to educate, have mass, hands-on social action, and help influence large-scale change? Today, festival attendance and social action around the world is at a very high level. I believe we can combine the festival platform with hands-on social action and create a worldwide reforestation festival. This festival will allow attendees to take part in simple reforestation activities, be a part of the solution to climate change, and all while having a great time. The festival's media coverage will also be a great way to amplify these problems and solutions around the world. So what do I envision this festival to look like? This is the lawn of the Glastonbury Festival in England, which is held on a farm. This lawn has the potential for being a reforestation site with many simple activities. For example, we could easily dig a swale across the lawn. A swale is basically a ditch on even level. So it would be dug across the lawn like this. Swales are a tree-growing system that are designed to receive water. So when it rains, the swale fills up with water and the water slowly plumes into the subsurface. So attendees would help dig the swale, which is not labor-intensive at all, and just below the swale, attendees can plant nut trees, fruit trees, ground cover seeds, and more. To give you more of a visual of how the festival can be set up, here is a bird's eye view of a farm and its master plan for reforestation and a sustainable agricultural system. It is taking into account rainwater flows, the construction of small dams, sun angles, and much more. Now imagine this was the site for the festival. We can have the concert area here, the campgrounds here, the food area here, and this whole side can be a reforestation site. We could dig swales here. We could plant this entire side into a food forest. People can be watching the construction of dams here. This can be a newly reforested area so people can see what it will turn into. And we can have explanation posts set up here explaining all the activities and schedules and things like that. The attendees will also be able to track the growth of the forest on the festival website so they can see the evolution of the forest, and when they look back on their experience, they can have great pride in what they took part in and be inspired to do more. Now, how do I believe this idea can expand? This is more or less the traditional festival model for today. When the reforestation idea catches on, we can make it clear that any festival can add this option, and we can help consult them for the first 1 or 2 years. Any type of festival can consider if they want to integrate similar activities. So, for example, festivals held in cities, suburbs, and degraded lands could adopt these activities. City festivals can convert industrial land into food forests, like the first example in San Francisco. Small town festivals can convert parks or neighbors' backyards into food forests, like the second example of a suburban home in Australia. Festivals held in degraded lands can reforest deserts, like the last example in the Middle East. And the type of reforestation can vary. We can have natural habitat or sustainable timber reforestations. We can raise money for a reforestation fund, or really anything you can imagine. For the business model, all the profits from each festival would go towards funding the next festival. It would either be a yearly or a touring festival. We could start with converting an industrial farm into a sustainable farm, and then continue to a desert landscape, and then a city, and so on. We would also utilize the traditional business model. For our revenue stream, we would sell tickets, have sponsorships, offer consultation services, and other avenues. Here are 3 similar festivals. Farm Aid is a music festival run by Willie Nelson. They raise money in support of family farms in America. In 26 years, they have raised more than $39 million. In 2010, they attracted 35,000 attendees. Next is Harmony Festival. For 33 years, they have been celebrating health, music, ecology, and more. It is a zero-waste festival where everything used is either recycled or reused. In 2010, they had 35,000 attendees. Next is a small-scale reforestation festival. It was non-commercial, comprising of about 30 people. They did tree plantings, but nothing extensive. The last one was in 2007. So there are festivals today that have a similar mindset, but are not the same as I have proposed. Festivals like these would be targets to encourage the integration and expansion of reforestation and sustainable agriculture activities. I currently have reforestation experts on board. I'm currently in need of a production team, advisors, a location for the initial site, seed funding, and performing artists. If you're interested in exploring this opportunity, please contact me at this email address. In conclusion, the overall purpose of this festival is to act on the United Nations recommendations, combat climate change, and lead the transition to a sustainable food production economy. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "The time is always right to do what is right." This festival can be a catalyst for our current generations to continually do what is right for our earth and what is right for all our future generations. Thank you for watching.